All right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Compass CRM webinar. Today we're going to be going over workflows and all that good stuff. So thank you for joining. Go ahead and open up the chat and the question and answer section so that you can shoot those off as I go along, and we will go ahead and jump right into it. So, as you are probably aware, your clients move through the stages of selling through activities. So let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see what I'm doing here. And I want to share my Compass screen. Okay. So on your home page, you have your top priorities. So you could work right from your home page. To complete an activity, I'll just go ahead and hit complete. And then on here is their personal information, which this is just a sample client. And then I have their personal notes. And then down here is where I'm going to say how the call went. So whether I want to call them back in 1 business day, 3 business days, on a specific day, or if I can go ahead and start enrolling them in a policy and I want to send a fact finder. And then any notes I want to leave from that conversation, I can put on this, and then I can go ahead and hit complete. And then when I go into a client's record, that activity is logged in their timeline, and you can filter through your timeline. I almost think that sometimes it has too much information, so I go ahead and filter all of mine through, or I filter mine with the activities logged and the activities that are scheduled. So I'm just looking at my interactions with that client. All right, so you can also work from your dashboard. I like to work off of my dashboard with my activities because I can filter by this week. Oops, that's not this week. I can filter by the week, the month, all time, just today. So I like working from the dashboard for the most part. And then if you go to platform and then you go into your activities, this is where you can add a new activity. And then you can also change these activities if you'd like. Okay, so say that Alexis Coleman was a lead and we just sent her the scope of appointment. We got that sent back. Now we're ready to enroll her. We're going to launch out to Sunfire. And as you can see, it pulled in all of her information because I've already logged into Sunfire today. If not, you'll launch out to Sunfire and it'll have you log in and then it'll bring you to the main Sunfire page. So what I do is I exit out of that tab and then I launch into Sunfire again and it'll pull in all of her information. And then this is where I go ahead and add the medication changes or the doctor she uses. And then as I go and enroll her in the plan, it will continue to pull information from Compass for you, so you don't have to re-enter any data. Say you simply want to update a medication for Alexis, then I'm launched into Sunfire and now I can go into her medications and I can add a medication. And now that I've saved that in Sunfire, I'm going to give it a second to save. There we go. So that medication was saved in Sunfire, so I can exit out and then refresh my Compass. and that medication popped up in here. So that's the best way to update the drugs providers and pharmacies at this time. And it looks like we have a question. Um, if you want to throw it in the chat, or I can unmute you.
Okay, Megan,
Okay.
I just
Yes.
gave an event this past weekend, and a lady who spoke was 60 years old. She is not ready for Medicare at all. Okay, she has good insurance on her job. However, she's interested in some of the other types of things we have, like short-term care, like long-term care, like those kind of things that we might have. I wanted to
Mhm.
put her data into this particular system, her medications, just like I would do a Medicare person. Can I
Mhm.
do that and then turn around, and as we get more short-term care or indemnity or whatever we get, can I push a button just like I would do for the Medicare people? And let's say her name is Jenny Jones. Okay, put Jenny Jones' name in, and the things that would be available to her would pop up just like it would if she were a Medicare person, and I put her in as an over 65 client.
Um, I'm not sure I understand the question. So,
Okay. I want to be able to show her we have things other than Medicare. Okay, we do other types of things, and I'd like to be able to show her what those are for her age and against her medications. And I see that we have some other plans that I can look at that are for people under 65. Can I enter a person under 65 in with the same kind of information that I enter a person who's over 65? Push the button like I do for a person who's over 65. When you do that, all the companies pop up with what they're available to get. Can I do that for a person who's under 65? She's 62.
not yet. We are gonna have Health Sherpa integrated shortly.
Okay.
And then Firelight is about to be turned on. That's coming this week, next week. We're getting super, super close with that. And then
Mhm.
Retire Flow and Health Sherpa are next on the list.
Okay.
So ACA is
All right.
coming. It's, but it'll work pretty much the same way. Right now with the under 60 or over 65 clients, the Sunfire integration is working off of the saved sessions, which is why we launch out to Sunfire to update the medications and the providers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then eventually we'll have the integration set up so that you can update everything in Compass and then it flows into the enrollment tools for you. So
Okay.
all of that's coming. It's just in the works still.
Will that be for an additional cost?
Nope, all of that's included.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. All righty. So we looked at the enrollment tools um and like I said, Firelight's coming soon, Health Sherpa's coming soon. Um Retire Flow is very close as well. And then, so say I just enrolled that client, the enrollment will pop up in Compass, and then it will sync up with the carrier data because once you've submitted the enrollment and the application and all that good stuff in the enrollment tool, then Sunfire stops updating that policy. So your policy will then integrate with the carrier data and it'll have the live updates from the carrier, the ready to sell, and all that good stuff. Right now, Cigna, Aetna, and WellCare are Encompass, and then United Healthcare, Humana, and Anthem are still a work in progress. So for your policies, how the workflow would be is if your contract's with Gordon Marketing, if you put in your contact into Compass, then Compass will match up the contact in your CRM to the policy that we have saved in our records, and it'll match those up so that the policy flows into Compass without you having to enter it manually or upload it or anything. Um, So those are coming. Again, they're still a work in progress, but then, of course, they'll benefit from all the live carrier data. And then your back finders. So let's see. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm going to go into my forms, and I've started building out other fact finders as well. So I'm just going to go into the basic fact finder, and then um are you guys all comfortable updating the fact finder to put in whatever additional information that you need? We're going to go over building out emails and forms later. I just wanted to go over this really quick. So there's my fact finder form. And then on the settings page, if I scroll down, I have the option to notify a team member via email, notify team members via text when those are submitted. So I usually go ahead and add that for me. And then once that form is submitted, then I get an email saying, hey, so-and-so submitted this form, or a text saying so-and-so submitted that form. And then what I could also do is go into my Send Fact Finder automation and add a goal. I'm going to go ahead and delete this and do it with you guys. So I could add a goal of a form being submitted, and I'm going to choose the Fact Finder form and save that. And once that goal is met, once they've completed the fact finder, I want Compass, I'm going to add an action for Compass to schedule me an activity. I want to schedule a lead follow-up to myself. And I'm calling it a lead because, um, or no, I don't want to schedule a lead follow-up. I want to schedule a general follow-up or a phone call. Sorry about that. And then save that. And now once the form is submitted, then I'll get scheduled an activity so that I'm basically just ensuring that I won't miss the fact finder coming through. And I can save that automation. And now I have that workflow set up. So those are my main tips and tricks for the workflow. I'm going to leave a minute for questions in case you guys have some more, see if there's anything specific you guys want to go into more in depth. So I'm going to go ahead and leave a second, let you guys ask questions. Okay. I think we're good. I don't think that there's any questions. So let's see. Those were the main points that I wanted to hit. Is there anything that you guys want to go over? I only took up half of the 30 minutes that I scheduled these for, which I think I scheduled them for 45 minutes and then just try to take 30 minutes or less. Um, but let's see. It doesn't look like I have any questions coming through. I did have a couple people hop on a little bit later. Um, so if you just got here, all that you missed is that the Firelight integration is coming soon to update your medications, providers, and pharmacies in Sunfire. You'll just launch out through Compass, update those, save them in Sunfire, and then refresh Compass, and those will come back in. Your policies will then hook up to the carrier data. Right now we have Cigna, Aetna, and WellCare and Compass, and then UHC, Humana, and Anthem are still a work in progress. But those should be trickling in. And then your forms, you can go in and add a notification for those. So those are the main workflows. Um, it doesn't look like I'm getting any questions, so I guess I'll go ahead and hop off. Um, since I don't have any other big topics for today. So thank you all for joining. Oh, it looks like I do have one question. How is, what's the easiest way to get everything into Compass? So when you say everything, I'm curious what you mean by how easy is it to get everything into Compass. So for your contacts, it's super simple. You'll just upload your contacts using this template. Um, so you'll download your clients either from a carrier report or your current CRM, and then column by column, you'll paste them into here. What's the easiest way to get everything into Compass from Sunfire? So the easiest way to get everything into Compass from Sunfire is to have your client saved in Compass and Sunfire, and then all the data will integrate and flow back and forth. So you'll want to have the client saved with an email in both systems, since that's our unique identifier, and or phone number, name, and email. I think all of those can be a unique identifier, and then social security number, the MBI could be one, the Medicaid number or Medicare number. So let's see. So as long as they're saved in both Compass and Sunfire, all the information will go back and forth. You'll just want to launch out into Sunfire, sign in, and then exit out of that tab and launch back into Sunfire from Compass. Because the first time when you have to log in for the first time of the day, it messes up the integration. So if I start putting them in, it will update. Yes, so um, if you start putting your clients in, then they will integrate with Sunfire, so that information will come through, and then their policies will integrate from the carrier integrations that we have, and you'll have live data from the carriers on ready to sell reports and policies and all that good stuff. And those are just done from the Gordon marketing side of Compass. Those just kind of trickle down. And that's why it's taking a little longer than we expected, is because we have to start from the top and then it goes all the way down to the policies. So that's why it's taking a little bit longer. Of course, I'm happy to help. Do you guys have any other questions while we're here? All right. All right, I think everybody's good to go. So I will go ahead and let you guys get back to your day. I hope you all have a good one. Happy spring. And I will see you on Thursday.